You know those people that are like, you want to avoid a midday slump, so you eat protein in the morning. I kind of look forward to my midday slump because it means I get to make coffee. Ugh, that's happiness in a cup. Alright, if you've been bored by chicken lately, because chicken can be kind of boring, I have the perfect recipe for you. This is a blackened chicken. It's smoky and spicy and a little bit sweet. We're using it as a topping for a tostada salad today, but you can use this as a taco filling. You can use it in burritos, quesadillas. It is so versatile and so good. I've been wanting to tell so many people this. The two things standing in the way of a chicken being gross and dry and flavorless and juicy and sumptuous and amazing and something you actually want to eat: tempering and salt. Okay? Three things. I changed my mind. There's three things. The third thing is patting it dry. So this has been tempering. I took it out of the fridge and it's been sitting for about 45 minutes. So this is gross. No, don't look at it, it's yucky. Look at me. We're letting it sit out because you don't want to cook chicken when it's cold. It's gonna seize up and it's gonna get tough, so we want to temper it. It's not cute. Okay, I'm gonna throw these away. Salt. I heard Sola El-Waylly say this once and it stuck with me forever. She uses 1 teaspoon of salt per pound of meat. And this is about 2.5 pounds. Silver. I'm gonna take 2.5 teaspoons of salt. We are just going to salt our chicken on both sides. Now we're gonna create our spice blend. I'm gonna take some smoked paprika that I'm gonna try to not make an insane mess. I'm gonna get a full tablespoon. This is all the ice in your cup that's just waiting to completely avalanche your face. 1 teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder. A tiny little 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, low heat. You can buy ground cumin. We're just a little pretentious. Spices that are bought whole and then ground up are so much more flavorful and fragrant. Another tablespoon. Potentially with some old turmeric. That is all of our dry spices. So now I'm just gonna set that aside and grab a couple more ingredients to make our marinade. We're gonna add a little bit more of our sweet and spicy. So these are Chipotle and adobo. I always have one of these in my pantry. They're just so good to have on hand. I'm gonna take 2 of these little Chipotles and then whatever sauce comes with them. Actually, let's do 3. Let's be crazy. I'm just gonna give these a really fine chop. If you are not a fan of spicy, what I would recommend is using less. You can just use 1, but also you can cut these down the middle and scrape out the seeds if you want to. All those little seeds in there are pretty spicy. I'm gonna add this into our dry spice blend. This is agave. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon to our marinade. I never measure this, I just go for it. It's about a tablespoon. Or it's what I would like to think a tablespoon is. I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. This is gonna make a little paste situation that will coat our chicken beautifully. If you don't have agave, you can use maple syrup. Honey also works, it's just a little bit more difficult to blend. Brown sugar works, but I like using a liquid sweetener so that we get this thick, gorgeous paste. My sister asked me recently what my favorite kitchen utensils are for her wedding registry, and I forgot to tell her kitchen shears. Raw chicken is a pain in the butt to cut. It moves around and it's just, if your knife is not extremely sharp, it's just gonna be a pain in the butt. Another reason why I love using the kitchen shears is I can find these like little craggly piece. I'm just gonna cut that off. And then that's about the size that we're going for our chicken. So I'll take the chicken and kind of cut it into strips, and then I'm gonna cut this into like bite-sized pieces. So we've got our cut up chicken here, looking gorgeous. We've got our marinade paste, okay? So that's kind of the key, right? It's not this super liquidy situation. She's quite pasty. We're gonna plop that in there. You can use your hands. Just depends on the mood I'm in, and I'm not in that kind of mood today. We're just gonna toss, this might take a minute. So we salted our chicken earlier so that it could sit and that salt could soak in and penetrate the chicken before our spice blend. So I just wanted to call that out because salt is not part of the marinade. Each piece is perfectly and evenly salted. And now we've got our chicken ready to go. We're ready for the pan. So I've added a little bit of olive oil to this cast iron, and you can see it's nice and hot because it's moving really fluidly. So I'm gonna add this chicken slowly, a little bit at a time. If we were to add it all at once, your pan would cool down really quickly, and we don't want that. We want the pan to stay hot so that we get a good sear on this chicken. If your chicken doesn't sizzle the second it hits the pan, your pan is not hot enough. So I'm not gonna touch this chicken until it's about 2/3 of the way cooked. That way we get a nice sear on the bottom. When we flip it, it just has to cook the rest of the way, and then it's done. It's never not good. It's like smoky and spicy with a little sweet. You get that like crispy, crunchy, blackened bits. It's just perfect, honestly. So now we're gonna set this aside and work on a quick vinaigrette. And by quick, I mean there's like 5 things in it. You blend it together and it's done, and we love that. The chilies that I got in the marinade weren't that spicy, so I'm gonna go for 2 more in our vinaigrette. A little pinch of salt and about a tablespoon. Oh my gosh, I just made a mess. And then I'm gonna add a garlic clove and about a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. This was another tool that I told my sister she needed for her wedding registry. It's just a stick blender. I use it honestly all the time. So I'm just gonna blend this up. Okay, now I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of olive oil again. We don't measure really much in this household, so I'm just gonna glug, glug, glug. Boom. A little taste test. It's so good. This is one of my favorite vinaigrettes ever. Okay, that's done. Now I'm gonna just chop up a couple of
We're bonking.
The great thing about this recipe is it is truly a choose your own adventure kind of situation. So today we're going to be doing a tostada salad, but if you wanted to wrap it in a tortilla and call it a taco, you can do that. If you wanted to put it in a quesadilla, ooh, that would be really good. You can really do whatever you want. Today we're going to do some black beans, some roasted corn, some red cabbage, scallions, some salty pepitas over a bed of lettuce, and then with our gorgeous vinaigrette that we made. The way that I am so excited to eat this right now, like it is stunning. Now that we just did all of that prep and we can have this for lunch every day this week. This is when you're going to thank past you and future me is going to be so stoked. Like, how gorgeous. Oh my God. I will never get sick of this recipe. Thanks, past me.